My name is Melissa Fleetwood. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist, and I'm here today to show you how to properly and safely use a knife. So here we have 3 different blades with 3 different guards, and it's very important to keep your knives safely put away into a guard. And if you don't have a guard, a really easy fix is you can wrap your knife in a towel. So you would take a towel and then make sure the entire blade of your knife is covered. And then you would just take some tape to wrap it around so that way the towel doesn't fall off and your knife is secure. And there you have it. The blade's completely covered and it's tightly secured with the tape. So it's really important when you're ready to use your knife that you choose a knife that you're comfortable with. I have 2 different knives here. One is a 6-inch and one is a 10-inch. But you should use whatever knife that you feel comfortable with or whatever is accessible to you. And the reason why I like a smaller knife for everyday cutting is because I can easily grip the knife. You can see that my whole hand is able to cover the handle, and I feel very comfortable with it. With the 10-inch, it may be for somebody with larger hands or somebody that maybe has a lot more to cut, a bigger surface area. You could go with this if you feel more comfortable, but the most important thing is to feel confident when you're cutting. So when you're ready to start cutting, you want to make sure that you have a good grip on the knife. Not too firm and not too loose. You can also pull up a little bit on the blade to have more control. The next thing you want to do is make sure that your knuckle is completely lined up with the blade. You can make a claw-like shape with your hand. You would just want your thumb and your pinky to be behind at all times, behind your fingers or behind the vegetables. And remember, as I said, when you're ready to start cutting, you want the blade against your knuckles. So as you're cutting down the vegetable, your knuckle is always guiding you. Your knuckle is always guiding the knife. So that way you're in control, and it's the most safe way to do it. When working with a round food item, they have a tendency to roll. So what you'll want to do is create a flat surface. So that way it's easier to cut and safer. So the first step would be to cut the edge off. Then you're going to cut a side off. So now you turn that side over, so that way you're working with a flat surface, and you continue to square off your food item. And there you have it, nice and square. So first I'm going to show you how to do a really simple dice with an onion. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take the skin off, and the easiest way to do that is just to cut and then start to peel. When I start to cut the onion, I like to cut it down the center, so that way this part is still attached, so that way when you're cutting, everything stays together. So you can see that they're still attached, but then you can go ahead and start peeling the skin back. But this makes it a lot easier, less fuss. Once I have all the skin peeled back, I'm ready to start cutting the onion. You can start cutting along the side of the onion, across the onion, and then back towards the end of the onion. And the way that it's going to look is when you go in across, you're going to keep your hand on top just to hold the onion in place. You don't need to push too hard, especially if your knife is sharp. And then you'll start cutting across. And then back. So again, you have that claw-like grip, and you're going to be leading your knife. And then once you get to the end, it can feel a little tight. So what you can do is flip the onion and then continue to cut back. Then you can cut the ends. And then you can cut again in the center. And there you have it, very simple dice. When walking with the knife, make sure that the tip of the knife is pointing down to the ground. When you pass the knife, pass using the handle. After washing your bell pepper, you can go ahead and start cutting by cutting just one side of it off. So you can see what's exposed, and we're going to get rid of the inside. So a good way to do this is you can use the same knife or a smaller knife if you feel more comfortable to cut down and away from your fingers. And then you're able to just take the inside out. And then whatever may be remaining, if you're unsure, you could always wipe the excess off, like this. And now you're ready to cut. So it's easier to cut from the inside of the bell pepper. So if you want, just go down like this, rather than trying to cut against the skin. So you can go ahead and cut like that. And then if you want to make strips, you just take that same side and just begin cutting. And there you have it, strips. Once you have your strips, you're now ready to dice. And you can just line them up. Again, use your claw, and you can start cutting. And now you have a dice.